So, what did you think about the Police cover on the Burning Red?
Um, Again, that was also that time where everybody was freaking covering everything. But I think
Yeah.
they did a good job with it. I think it's cool. Again, I'm not a huge Police fan myself or whatever.
Mm,
So again, I think that's the other part about covering songs is that sometimes you're gonna miss the mark and you're gonna do something that's
mm,
probably not down your alley or other people aren't gonna like it.
right.
Um,
Right.
I mean, we talked about like Five Finger Death Punch again, like doing classic songs and stuff. I mean, like you're really like hitting especially if you're not putting your own twist to it, you're really honing in on an era and leaving it there. Like
Hmm.
like you're like knocking on the door of 54-year-olds, like and nobody else. And but no, I
Yeah.
thought that I don't know. I think it's cool. I think they did a good job.
I
What'd
like
you
it.
think?
I liked it.
Yeah.
I thought it sounded good and it fit in the album sequence, and I thought they did a good job. And it frequently is on lists of top 25 classic rock
Sure.
cover songs.
Sure.
Which I think probably gives this record the most attention these days,
Yeah.
anyway. Because I know Rob has tried to downplay that cover. I don't think he cared for it.
Yeah.
And I think Ross pushed him to do it. I think is how the story goes.
You think so? Well, again,
Hmm.
you think
I think I
it's
read that
because of,
somewhere.
yeah, you think it's probably because of
Yeah.
the time, you think, again, like what I was talking about, or
I probably, but
yeah,
then again, it's like I like to think that when bands and kind of go into something that we've talked about numerous times, when they're picking a cover song to
yeah,
do, how are they going to do it? What's the right song?
right.
And I will say this until my last breath, but it's like metal fans don't want to hear you covering a metal song.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yep,
So for them to kind of, ping the other way, it's like, okay, yeah, that the choice makes sense
right.
to me. Um, and I think it got some traction, back
It
then and
did,
still.
but I think I almost wonder, like you said, I think you're probably right. I think it was probably Ross like pushing on them to do something like that because you got to think, you know, $3 bill y'all came out what 97, and I think that formula of doing something so contrasted of like
Mm,
Faith, where it was George Michael and it was real soft, kind of sweet, kind of almost like a love song sound or whatever, and then it's like this big different dichotomy and of this heavier sound. And
metal
I
it up.
think, yeah, exactly. It blew it up and it was like it worked so well. And so I think maybe that's what he was trying to do with Message in a Bottle, because it's definitely
Yeah.
not a heavy song by any means. And I think it's cool that they took that chance with it. And you know, it worked. I think it sounds
Yeah.
cool. Is it Faith? No.
Right.
But I would love to hear, not to like throw Limp Bizkit in there as like one of the best bands ever or anything like that, but I'd love to see what they could do with Message in a Bottle. I think that it would, they do such a good job of taking something and still giving it justice, but then like, oh yeah, by the way, here's our version of it. But
Hmm.
no, I don't know.
Their
I think it's good.
rendition.
Exactly. Rendition. That's right. Yeah, we had a big talk about this before.
I'm getting there with that.
Yeah. But again, like I kind of liked Faith, with George Michael as a
Sure.
kid. And
Yeah.
so when they redid it, I'm like, that's cool. Again, I wasn't a big Police fan, and I think that Message in the Bottle is kind of a weird freaking song to do, and to pick for a metal band. But I thought it was pretty cool. It's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.